You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Humphrey Coliseum in Starkville, Mississippi today for the Gators and the Bulldogs. Mississippi State looking for its first win over a ranked opponent in 6 years, but it won't come easy today against the Gators. They're ranked number 15 in the country and right now tied with Kentucky for first place in the SEC. I'm Beth Mullins along with Dallin Cuff. Dallin, the Gators are riding a 7-game winning streak, but that last one came at a price as they lost their starting big man, John Egbunu, to injury.
Yeah, senior that anchors their team, and when he broke the news to the team this week that he tore his ACL and was done for the year, Mike White told us a lot of tears. Emotionally, his team is a little distraught. We'll see if they can step it up and get their minds right for a huge game here today.
One of those guys that will have to step up offensively. He's their leading scorer, and he's still coming off the bench.
Yeah, we all know he shoots his underhand free throws like his pops, but this dude is coming off a season high, 30 points, career high, excuse me, in a Florida jersey, killing guys with the outside jump shot, knocking it down inside. His percentages have gone up 10 percentage points in league play. I think he should be a candidate for SEC Player of the Year.
Look at the numbers from their win on Tuesday. 114 points, the most they've ever scored in an SEC game. They had tremendous balance, and they got to the free throw line more than any Gator team in 19 seasons. So can they match that today against the Bulldogs, who have lost 7 of their last 9, including 3 in a row? But the good news, the guy with the basketball right here, I.J. Reddy, is back in the starting lineup. He's their senior running the point.
You'll hear us talking about a lot of youth in the Mississippi State team, the youngest team, least experienced team, excuse me, in the nation. But Reddy is senior, a stabilizing force. Huge to have him back in the starting line.
Weatherspoon, their leading scorer, misses on the first shot. The rebound for Schneider Harrard. He brought it down. He's tied up, and it will go to Florida.
Some of that youth shown right there. You said he brought it down. As a veteran guy, you keep that thing chinned high. Maybe you shot fake it back in the defender's body, get a putback, or you kick it out, get the ball reversed, and maybe get an open look. Holding it, bringing it down, turnover.
Casey Hill will bring it across midcourt. Could be a big day for Casey statistically with a couple markers he's set to pass. Hoping for the assist there to Justin Leon. Casey's next assist will move him up to a tie for second all-time at Florida, and he's also closing in on the 1,000-point scoring mark. Lamar Peters finds Weatherspoon underneath for the lay-in.
That's where you don't see Weatherspoon much. Quindarian does not operate inside the 3 or 4 feet all that much. He's a great shooter, one of the best in the SEC, and getting him going early is big.
Hey, our stat guy Barry making a nice catch on the feed. The turnover. There is Ben Howland in his second season here at Mississippi State after tremendous success at both Pittsburgh and at UCLA, where he played in a national championship game and lost to, or coached the Bruins in a championship game loss to Florida. They are building based on their recruiting, and this is one of the guys that will be instrumental in their success in the next few years, Weatherspoon, the sophomore.
And Mike White told us before the game he's really worried about the movement off the ball. Well, you just saw it twice. One time the guy get in the lane, and that time a great cut from Weatherspoon, scoring twice without the rock.
Allen with the miss, Peters with the push. Weatherspoon gets his feet set. Another offensive rebound. Harrard clearing out space, and he draws the foul.
We were here last week, and Weatherspoon didn't score in the first half. Well, he's getting going early here. This is a great cut on the backside. Defender helped. You have to help the helper. So when Leon moved over, the other help defender had to rotate and protect the basket. That didn't happen, and Q saw it and read it and made a play.
Foul will be on Kavarius Hayes, the 6'9" sophomore, who is back in the starting lineup to replace the injured Egbunu, who had the ACL injury in the midweek win over Auburn. Schneider is a 6'10" freshman, a native of Haiti, played his high school ball in Texas, and has really only been playing for the last 4 years. Still a project and a good one for Mississippi State.
He's already got 2 offensive boards. And that's a big key to this game, is can the Gators clean up the defensive rebounds. That's when they've gone through the 7-game run, and particularly in league play, they've become a better defensive rebounding team. They were bottom 60 in the nation in defensive rebound percentage 2 months ago. Now they're up in the mid-hundreds, which is better, but in league play, they're 5th. They have to clean up the glass and finish possessions.
Allen off the Skylar Rimmer screen. Leon, cold start for the Gators. We weren't sure coming in what their mental state would be like with one of their starters out. This is their first game without him.
It's critical for them to get stops too, so the Gators can score in transition. They're better scoring when the pace is being played up and down, and they can get early offense going.
Five on the shot clock. Peters will have to launch. Offensive rebound. And the Bulldogs ping-pong it around, and they save it.
I don't see that every day.
Around the horn for another possession.
Isn't the baseball stadium across the way here? It's probably sold out right now too, actually.
Dudy Noble, they've got a game later this afternoon. They had their season opener yesterday, a loss to Texas Tech. Mid-range, Spoon, weak side Robinson, and here we go in transition. Florida has missed their first 3 shots. Robinson, deep 3, around and out.
I want to see them getting more to the basket. That's their third 3. I think they're settling a little bit. Need to probe, look to get interior possessions.
Chiozza. The kickback, Allen's 3, and that'll go.
Again, transition though. They got the stop. Started a 3-on-2 break the other way.
Allen, the sophomore from Little Rock. All freshman SEC a year ago. Reddy uses the screen. He'll pull up mid-range.
Tavon Allen just needs to go under that screen. That shot attempt was created for no reason. Go underneath the screen, meet him on the other side. Make Reddy take a contested 23-footer. That's fine.
Chiozza had it stripped. Weatherspoon able to clean up and lay it in.
Mike White's not going to be happy. The way they started that Auburn game, we just talked about all the points they scored against Auburn. That was because defense was optional. And Bruce Pearl's team right now is young, and they're learning how to guard. But they were able to score in the second half. But the first half, they looked bad on both ends of the floor, the Gators did. And right now, they look really disjointed on both ends of the floor.
Allen's floater, he's got both the buckets for the Gators. Off of the switch, Peters, nice fake, and the dish. Peters may have been better served to pull the trigger himself on that.
Hit him with the hay now. Froze his defender.
Allen barely touched iron.
It's flat. Didn't have a chance right when it left his hand.
Just over 5 minutes gone. The Gators starting the day in a first-place tie with Kentucky after South Carolina lost for the second time in their last 3 outings to fall out of first place and a game back in the SEC. 7-5, Bulldogs early.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by USAA. Insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community.
On ESPN. And for the Florida Gators, their 7-game SEC winning streak where they've been averaging close to 90 points per game, and they are ranked in the top 15. That average margin of victory during the streak has been nearly 25 points.
They've been blowing people out, but they do it on both ends. Their defense helps them create offense, and when they're in transition and moving and playing together, they are tough to beat. But Mike White just hangs his head right there because his team does not look ready to play right now. And he knew he was worried about them emotionally and mentally. Where would they be? And Casey Hill in particular. Casey Hill's very close with John Egbunu. He said that we did not practice well the last 2 days. And he took Hill out in the first 90 seconds of this game when he threw the turnover to nobody. And he's looking for a guy to give him a spark right now and play sharp, and they're not getting it.
He's already used 3 guys off of his bench. Speaking of off the bench, there's Aaron Coleman, the 6'10 sophomore, backing his way into the bucket.
Ben Howland loves this start. He was applauding his guys when they walked off. Right now, they've defended really well. They've covered guys up. They've helped well until that possession, of course, as I was saying it, as Chiozza goes right down Broadway. But for the most part, they've played good defensively, and they've really come in focused. in this game.
They've been in games. We were here last week. They took South Carolina right down to the wire.
Well, their last 2 games, they were up
With
a point with
Georgia,
less than 6 minutes to go against Georgia and South Carolina. Those are tournament teams. So they have to learn to close out games, but they've been putting themselves into good position to win basketball games.
That's one of the things they hope that I.J. Reddy can bring back. This is his first start since their SEC opener in early January. He's been affected by injuries, and there he is right on cue.
Florida changed up their ball screen coverage. They've switched the last 2 ball screens, but if you're going to switch a screen, you got to step up. Even if you're a big, you can't just allow the guard to comfortably shoot a shot.
Keith Stone, he's one of the guys that should get more minutes with the injury to Egbunu. Nice cut by Robinson, and he draws the foul. That'll be on Holman.
You take a look. Holman sets a good screen. Chiozza runs right into it. So Leon switches, but you've got to switch out. You have to switch to be effective. And there was nothing there. Robinson switches out. He's big and athletic. One black. He's long. He's athletic. He can stay in front of Reddy. He doesn't need to be scared to back off so far when he does switch.
Robinson is the junior from Chesterfield, Virginia. Coming off a 14.6 rebound performance against Auburn.
6 of Florida's 9 shots right now are threes. That's obviously at 66%. On the season, they shoot around 36% of their field goals or three-pointers, which is right at the national average. They are not a three-point reliant team. They can't get caught up in just chucking a lot of threes early in this game. They've got to look to work the ball, play together, and get into a lot of ball screens. Force Mississippi State to figure it out. Mississippi State's going to guard ball screens a little differently than we've seen. As we go through more of this game, we'll show you and talk about it and see if they can handle it.
Five on the shot clock, on the drive, count the bucket. Xavion Stapleton.
And this is just kind of a weird pass, but a bad closeout by Canyon Barry. Really closed out, not really on great balance, and the help side got there just a little too late. And that's an easy call for the official. Keith Stone kind of in between taking a charge and jumping. I don't know what that was, but it was a block. I know that much.
His first personal foul. Second on the Gators, and Stapleton to complete the three-point play. Just 59% on the season. Holman, another offensive rebound. The kick out, Stapleton. Rattled it around and out.
Lamar Peters, number 1 and white. You see him clapping hard, turn around, dapping up his guys. Because once that ball was picked up, they yelled deny. They closed out all their defenders. He didn't let Casey Hill get it. Frankly, Hill did not work hard enough to go get the ball, and that forced a turnover.
That's the 4th turnover for the Gators. Hill and Chiozza in the backcourt together now for Florida.
Now, just to remind everybody, they do have South Carolina and Kentucky coming up. He touched it in the front court and couldn't touch it again in the back court. So he needed help.
Heads up by Peters there. And by Stapleton to come help him out.
South Carolina and Kentucky coming up for Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think they were looking past Mississippi State, but the way they're playing right now, coupled with Egbunu's injury, they look a little lost.
This is the biggest week of Mike White's tenure for sure in the last couple of years. For a team that was not in the NCAA tournament a year ago, they're headed there this year. Chiozza rejected by Holman. Coming over with the help. This is a young Mississippi State team that's going to get better. We'll show you one of the reasons why. Dallin going to take you into the weight room. When we come back, it's Cowbell Cutting Edge.
Here with David Dietz, Director of Performance of the Mississippi State Weight Room. Coach, amazing technology you have here. Take us through some stuff.
Yeah, right here what we have is our force plates powered by Sparta. What we're looking at is we're going to get a read of his weaknesses, depending on his jumps throughout his body, whether it's the posterior, the front, or the core. And then from that also, we get analysis of a risk of injury.
All right, Coach, we're the dot drill. We used to call it back in the day, but the quick board, a little more advanced. What is this?
Yeah, we're able to do not only just any agility drill or speed, we're able to do reaction and capture how much time you spend on each dot and be able to react off the iPad and then shoot it to an iCloud to look at imbalances in the body. So we might have to train one side more than the other.
All right, David, now getting some sports-specific stuff here. We're going to bring in Beth Mowins, 1,000-point scorer at Lafayette, but she can guard a little bit, too. Tell us what's happening here.
We're using our Kaiser functional trainer here and using a basketball to mimic the moves that we do on the court, working on quick step, first step, and then also how much power output. So we want to be more balanced than what Jonathan is right now, and then also he wants to attack her hip, also using the basketball.
Nice defensive play on the inbound for Mississippi State. I think we're going to get a foul here. Is that on Canyon Berry of Florida? But thank you to David Dietz and to Jonathan Barber for helping us out there in the weight room. That is fantastic stuff. That's even cutting edge for the NBA.
And that's actually just scratching the surface. They have the cryo chamber with multiple bikes in there. You get up to 13,000 feet or 15,000 feet. They have a zero gravity bike in there so you can train when guys are still injured to come back, how much body weight they put on it. Everything is videoed, even your standard, bench press or different things like that. They don't just squat. They use squats with air pressure, not weights. I mean, we just got going. We could do a whole 30-minute show on that thing, and we haven't even got to the shooting technology we're going to get to in the second half. That is really cool.
In the second half.
That's more my zone.
Casey Hill bumped on the drive. Yeah, that atmospheric chamber. We're at 300 feet above sea level here in Starkville, Mississippi. He can take you to the highest mountaintop in the country and get you a workout up there. Say they're going to play at Albuquerque at the Pit someday.
Or the Marriott Center,
the NCAA tournament. BYU, Colorado, yep.
I mean, and they recover with it a lot, too. And we spent time in Coach Allen's scouting report, and then great shot right there. You got to get through the screen. We spent time with the scouting report. We spent time with David Dietz in the training room, and Coach showed us all these different things. I mean, this is an impressive amount they've invested in technology. They're preparing this young team to keep growing this program.
Reddy, who has the basketball, is their only upperclassman that gets minutes. They had been starting 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores. Knocked out of bounds. That is going to go to the Gators. Down 3 here in the first half on the road.
And without their senior again leader, John Egbunu, anchors their defense. Now inside, they're getting kind of beat up. They've given up 10 points in the paint, 4 offensive rebounds already. So we're seeing the effect of not having Egbunu in this game and the fact that the Gators start playing well.
More turnovers than buckets, as a matter of fact. And a little too reliant, I think, for their coach on the 3 ball at this point. Leon draws the foul on the bounce. Hey, Sunday at 4 Eastern on ESPN, we'll go to the American Athletic Conference. It's UConn and Temple from Philly. As always, it can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app and your Watch ESPN.
That was a really smart play because, Beth, as you were just saying, they've been too reliant on the 3 ball, and Leon could have taken a 3 there. Instead, he shot faked, got into the body of the defender, and got himself to the free throw line. He gave up what would have been a pretty good shot for a great opportunity.
Justin knocks it down, the senior from Conway, Arkansas, in his last 3 games. He's actually, if you're going to take a 3, he's got the hot hand. He's been averaging 13 points and 7 boards, well above his averages in the last 14 days.
And he shoots 42% from 3 in league play. I'm not saying don't take the shot, but you got to know time and score. You guys are struggling to score. That would have been a settle in my mind again. He got a better look. He's going to take good ones when he's open, but that was smart.
Berry defending on Weatherspoon off the crossover. Leon able to rip it out of there, and it comes down to Hill. Hill in traffic, offensive foul. Taken by Reddy. Couple of veterans going head-to-head.
And that's the way Florida wants to play. They want to get going downhill with their guards, Chiozo, or in this case, Hill, and that's a good call. And who, by the senior, I.J. Reddy, stands there, takes a lot of the contact. They're going the other way. Now, on that last possession for Mississippi State, they isolated Canyon Berry. They cleared it out for Weatherspoon, their best offensive player. With Berry, went out at him. Weatherspoon missed, though. Remember, he only shoots about 45% around the basket. He struggles to score within 4 feet. That's where his game will develop, but they're going to ISO him again on that weak side.
Peters, they swing it around to Reddy. Back out to Peters for three. And the foul will be on Herard going over the back. Mississippi State now 0 for 9 from downtown. And that's going to be the second foul on Schneider Herard.
This is a team that's pretty reliant on three-point shooting. They're third in the league in percentage. They make eight a game in league play. As Coach told us last week and said this week, we got to make threes. Well, they haven't done that, but they've defended really well. And they've really done a good job of crashing the offensive glass to get more opportunities. And they've made everything hard for Florida. So they still have the lead despite not doing one of the things they need to do well, which is knock down triples.
Gators looking for their first lead of the day. They don't have the spacing right now. They'll start over. Allen, pull up. Holman got up in his face, and Kayvon gives the Gators the lead. It's a 7-0 run.
Tough shot. Over to 5. Center coming at you. Extended, but that's Allen making a big play.
Kegler faces up, lost his balance, lost his footing. Going for the walk.
Take a look at Allen coming off the screen. Reddy gets caught on it, and they had to switch. Switch was out a little bit late, and see how high the arc is on that shot. That was not a natural shot, but he had to get it up over the outstretched arms of Eric Holman. That was poor ball screen defense. I.J. Reddy's got to get over that screen, or what they want to do is ice the screens a lot of times to the side. See, I.J. Reddy not allowing Allen to come off the screen when it's on a side ball screen. We'll talk more about that because it was a big part of Ben Allen's scout, to ice it and keep it on the side and not allow them to get in the middle.
Berry is fouled by Stapleton. That'll be his first, and that is the 5th team foul on Mississippi State. Hill. Kegler rebounds the miss. Mississippi State has missed on its last 6 shot attempts.
They've been getting good success on ball screen action. Now making Florida switch everything.
Stapleton up and in.
I think they need to keep attacking ball screens, handoffs. Right now, Florida's just not switching with any aggression. They're not being assertive on the defensive end.
Berry tried the lob. Holman got a piece of it. Mississippi State on top of Florida by a point here in the first.
Chris Cotter in our college basketball studios in Bristol. Top 2 teams in the Big 12 in Waco. Off the turnover on the break. Frank Mason is going to miss, but there's Gerald Vick with the big board and put back for Kansas, all tied at 47 at the under-12 timeout. Meanwhile, in the ACC, Wake Forest hanging in there at Cameron. They need this big road win. And Louisville with a 7-point lead over Virginia Tech. Beth, Dallin, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Chris, as we take a look at today's Wendy's Wooden Watch. And Dallin, some of your front runners.
I still have Josh Hart up there as #1, and they're taking care of Seton Hall right now. Frank Mason, obviously, he's been going through a bit of an ankle issue, one of the best guards in the country, though. Caleb Swanigan just keeps putting up monster performances. He's got a number of 20-20 and even 30-20 games. They're playing up right after us against Michigan State, and Lonzo Ball has been an absolute stud all year long. If that team UCLA can guard just a little bit more, just a couple more minutes of solid defense, they could go all the way.
Weatherspoon with the nice backdoor cut, assisted by Reddy.
That illustrates what I keep saying, where I don't think Florida's there mentally. They continue to lose sight. Ball you man. You have to know where those things are, and they continue to lose sight of easy cutters. And that's just, smart basketball Weatherspoon, but about the 3rd time we've seen him do that.
They've also got more turnovers than baskets. In fact, just 14 shots in 13 minutes for the Gators. Allen, tough fadeaway, got it. Kayvon's keeping him in it right now. He's got 9.
He's feeling it, and he's taking tough shots. I mean, Mississippi State, if you're Ben Howland, you're doing what you want them to do. They're taking contested 2s, but he's making plays.
Gators tied with Kentucky atop the SEC standings. They've won 7 in a row, ranked in the top 15. They're looking at a very good seed for the NCAA tournament. Reddy tried to rifle it into the corner and turned it over.
We'll take a look at the cut, and I.J. Reddy starting from the ball screen situation. And they're switching everything now. But see, Allen steps up too hard. When you step up and you lose sight of your man, back cut right behind you. Looks like Princeton right there. And this is Kayvon Allen using his body, being patient. Weatherspoon's got to work himself back in front there. He was content to be on the hip. He's got to get back in front of Allen.
Columbia guy sneaks in an Ivy reference.
I mean, it's a Princeton reference. I don't even know why I said it. They are leading the league right now, though. I believe they're 8-0.
Hill hangs and hits, and Florida gets back on top. Casey's the senior, who is getting close to the 1,000-point mark. He's moving up the career assist ranks today, and he's playing for the first time without his good buddy, John Anguno, who is lost for the season with the ACL injury. Came out in the first minute of the game today. Had to get his head right and get refocused. It's been a challenge today for Florida. First time out with one of their leaders.
And as a former player, you know that exists. When you lose a key member of your team, especially a senior, you feel that emotional part. It was the other way for me. I was hurt my senior year and had left a bunch of sophomores and freshmen, and you had to try to stay with them mentally, but it's hard. It's when you're looking at your career about to be over, it's hard to continue to keep those, to stay involved and keep those guys, you know, focused.
That one won't go down. It's going to be a foul on Mississippi State. That's on Holman. That's the 6th team foul. Second on Eric. So next foul will get the Gators to the line. Oh, Weatherspoon read that pass all the way. Gets the easy deuce.
That's on both the passer, Casey Hill, and the receiver. You got to work a little harder to get open. But Hill just can't throw it. You can't assume that he's going to be open.
10 points for Weatherspoon here in the first half, who's been up and down the last couple of weeks. Good for the Bulldogs to have him back in the scoring column, and they're going to get a travel on Robinson.
And this is Hill kind of just assuming he's going to come in open. And Allen, like I said, Allen's going to use his body more. He's got to lean into Weatherspoon with his left arm, his left shoulder. He's a physical specimen, Allen. He's wide, he's strong, and that right hand's got to be a target hand. None of that happened. Great anticipation by Weatherspoon. A good finish.
It's a Bulldog team offensively dominated by their perimeter guys. And so whatever they can get inside from a guy like Holman or E.J. Datcher, who's out there now, or Gravy, they need him to set some good screens. Here's Peters. Good box out by Allen, and then Weatherspoon's going to get called for the ticky-tack.
That's unfortunate for a little bit of an immature move in a young team. This is going to put them on the line, the Gators on the line from 94 feet. He wasn't going to get the rebound. It wasn't really intentional. He's got to just put his head down and run right by Hayes instead of getting tangled up with him.
Kavarius 68% on the season. Gators are 2 for 4 today.
They shot about 1 million free throws at Auburn there.
Yeah.
I think there were over 80 attempts combined in that game. I mean, it was, like I said, if you like offense, and offense and foul shots, you enjoyed that.
They scored 114. That's the most that a Florida team has ever scored in an SEC game. That's the second time, by the way, during this 7-game win streak that they've gotten over 100. And back and forth we go. The Gators up a point.
That's the thing. As bad as Florida's played, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I keep saying it. They're up a point right now. They've made some shots. Allen's made some plays. And now they're in the bonus, which could help them offensively, where they're really struggling. Mississippi State needs to continue to play good, play well, play good offense. And you got to make some shots, though.
Stapleton, swatted by Robinson, saved by Florida. Allen gets to the middle of the floor, and he'll draw the foul.
This is better defense or help getting in front of him, cutting him off, stopping the penetration, and then being able to get a block on it. Usually you don't save it on your own basket, but when you can identify your teammate perfectly like Hill did, throw it back to him, and that ignites the break. And that's when this Florida team is good. Again, when they get into transition and they can score early, because it's Allen, it's Chiozza, it's Hill. All these guards that are lightning quick and strong with the ball coming downhill at you. It's hard to stop.
The free throw count, by the way, was 37 for 42 against Auburn the other day.
So short of a million, but it's close. It's close.
It seemed like it probably to Tiger fans. The different ways, though, that Florida has proven they can beat people this year. They're just running up and down the floor all over Kentucky, beat them by 22. They hit 19 triples in a win over LSU this year, just stepped outside the arc. So it's a versatile club.
And a lot of guys. I mean, there are 7 different guys who led this team in scoring, and they don't rely on just one person.
And for Gator fans, it's the start of a big week that includes Carolina and Kentucky coming up.
Chris Cotter along with LaFonso Ellis. Alfa Romeo halftime report coming your way in a bit. Highlights of this big game in the Big 12, Kansas and Baylor. That one's going right down to the wire. Real good one. What do you make of the first half here of this game with Florida and Mississippi State?
I think Mississippi State has done a great job of controlling the tempo. This is a Florida team that averages 80 points per game, 3rd in the SEC. Well done so far by Mississippi State.
Yeah, first start without John Igbunu. Florida coming out a little bit slow in this one. Bet down. We'll see you at the half.
Thank you, Chris. A very good point. You and LaFonso, neither side shooting better than 40%, and it's a low-scoring affair, 22-19. The Gators on top, but Spoon and Allen have shown up.
Yeah, Quindary Weatherspoon, leading scorer for this Mississippi State team, making plays off the ball on the defensive end, converting it to offense. Still has yet to hit a 3, what he's known for, but he's still making big plays for them. Got 10 points. And Kevon Allen, he's kept the Gators in this game. He's got 11 of their 22, and he's making tough shots. That is a really tough shot over Eric Holman, who's top 5 in the league in blocks, almost 2 blocks a game in league play. That was a big play, and he's continued to make them that allowed them to get this 3-point cushion.
A State team that is reliant on their 3-ball for about 30% of their scoring. They're 0 for 11, so they've had to score more points in the paint. Doing a nice job on the offensive glass.
And they do it. They have 16 points in the paint, Mississippi State does.
Yep.
And again, Ogbunu's absence, forcing Mike White to play some smaller lineups at times, and when Hayes isn't on the court, and Rimmer, who's a walk-on, getting some minutes. So they're figuring it out, but right now Mississippi State is capitalizing.
They are 1 of 5 at the free throw line.
Good recognition of the mismatch. Robinson with I.J. Reddy. He's giving him about 12 inches. Let's see him give it up and get in the post. He's not a great post player. Might be able to get him deep and lay it in.
They've done a terrific job, too, defensively on Canyon Berry, who doesn't even have a shot yet. But Chiozza, smooth off the drive. And good use of the glass.
Poor ball screen defense by Mississippi State. They did not communicate properly. They did not execute what they wanted to do. What Ben Howland went through them with the scouting report with us present yesterday. None of that happened, and Chiozza went right down the middle for a layup because of it.
Biggest lead for the Gators at 5 points. Holman gets the layup. Or excuse me, that was Harad. We'll force Berry to give it up. Chiozza, he's got a triple-double on the season against Missouri from earlier this year. Able to knock it down.
It's a great move. Great shot fake. Didn't settle for the 3. Shot fake. 1 dribble pull-up. Textbook.
Well, Mike White was telling us before the game that they don't have the rah-rah guys. They don't have the vocal leaders, but they do have a handful of guys that can make plays, that can make a statement and give a confidence boost to their teammates. Chiozza's one of them. Here's another guy. Going to get his first look. Canyon Berry for 3, and he's got it, and a whistle off the ball.
Again, ball fakes. They're doing a really good job, this veteran team, of using the ball fake to set up their next move. You take a look. He moves shot fake, forced Kegler to kind of fly by him. The help defender comes in. Wasn't a lot of contact, but the basket They're calling a foul.
I think it was I.J. Reddy on the opposite side of the floor on the box out.
Well, the shot is still good then in that
Yes.
case. The ball was up and it should remain.
And it's bonus time, so a chance for a 5-point play here.
Jeez, how about momentum plays? It was just a 3-point game, 22-19. We came back about a minute and 20 seconds ago in game time. This could get to a double-digit deficit for Mississippi State, who has played very well in this game. They've controlled the pace, as Alfonso said, as Alfonso Ellis said, in this game, and they've done a good job for the most part defensively. But when you don't make shots, it's tough to hang with one of the teams that can score 80 points a game.
Fortunately for the Bulldogs, the miss on the front end, so no further damage done.
Florida's defense has gotten better, too, and they've started to clean up the glass a little bit. They've communicated screens away from the ball better, they've helped better, and they've recovered better.
Shot clock winding down. Weatherspoon has to launch. Allen off the bounce. Tip no good. Ready on the run with Stapleton. Missed it. Got it back. Fouled. And free throws coming. Tonight on ESPN, the SEC and ACC cap a full day of college hoops. First up, it's Kentucky and Georgia. The Cats tied for first with the Gators right now. Georgia in desperate win of a resume victory. And then Virginia and North Carolina, the Tar Heels sitting in first place in the ACC. Virginia almost must win there to stay in the race.
Georgia, it's like the Alamo right now. They've got to win that game against Kentucky. They've lost to Florida, to South Carolina, and to Kentucky. For those games, all those games, they arguably should have won all 3 of those games. And if they win those 3, guess what? They're in the tournament right now. But because they couldn't pull any of them out, they're on the outside looking in by everybody's projection. So they have to win that game, and they got to continue to win the rest of the season.
Missed opportunities there for the Bulldogs. 2 for 7 now at the stripe. Allen.
So you talk about icing the ball screen. You're supposed to not let Chiozza use it. Make him go the other way. Didn't do a good job. He went under it. If you're icing it, you've got to be above the screen and force him down to the baseline.
And Dallin, on a day when Casey Hill has been off, Chiozza has been making great decisions at the point here in the first half for Florida.
It's a great luxury Mike White has. When your point guard's struggling, you got another one on the bench that's they're pretty much just the same kind of player and really good.
Keeps his dribble alive, gets out of trouble. Robinson, short on the 3.
13 seconds of shot clock. Get it out of the corner, get it into Chiozza's hands, and let him go off a ball screen again.
Chance for a final shot for Mississippi State as they find themselves down 10. They'll take the timeout to talk. Last 3 minutes. 1 point in the last 3 minutes for Mississippi State, and here's the shot by Chiozza.
We're talking about icing right here. I.J. Reddy, he's going to try to force Chiozza down here. He needs to be further up the line over the screen. He's got a help defender right there. That's where you're funneling him to. Play it, guys. Reddy does not get high enough. He ends up going under the screen. That is not where you want to go on Chiozza. He buries the triple. They talked about it in the scouting report. They talked about it yesterday in practice. Ben Howland talked about it over and over again. Reddy is a senior. He has to set the tone for the guys. He's got to execute and have all those younger guys follow him.
Just back in the starting lineup today for the first time since early January. Final seconds of the half. Ready to Stapleton for 3. No good. Holden. Second chance, up and in.
Steals you a little momentum right there. It was a wide open look from 3. Again, that didn't go, and this team has struggled from deep, but Holman gets a big board, little momentum. They have not played bad, but they're down.
Only basket of the final 3 minutes for Mississippi State as Florida closes out the half 25-11. They do not give up a triple to Mississippi State. Here's Chris Cotter and LaFonso Ellis.
Thank you, Beth Allen. Appreciate it. Alfa Romeo half.
You're watching watching the SEC on ESPN. Starkville, Mississippi. There's a look at Jack, and well, as well as some Gator fans in attendance here at the Hump. It's an 8-point advantage for Florida. They were up by as many as 10 in that first half after a slow start. Here's your first half stats brought to you by Tic Tac.
A really big thing, Mississippi State 0 for 13 from the three-point line. The last couple minutes, that's because of good Florida defense. The beginning of the game, though, they just missed shots. They got to knock down shots to win this game.
All right, as we welcome you back to Starkville, Beth Mullins along with Dallin Cuff. The perimeter play really the difference for Florida and Kayvon Allen and Chris Chiozza today.
Yeah, Casey Hill came out struggling, but this is what Mike White has at his disposal. Other guards to put in the game. Kayvon Allen, he led them in scoring for most of the season. He stepped up early in this game. These are tough shots over the outstretched hands of Eric Holman, who's one of the top 3 guys in this league in block shots. And as I mentioned, Chiozza comes in the game for Hill and was a big spark. He really did a great job off ball screens, helped him a little bit defensively, and made shots. Right now, those 2 guys have combined 8 for 12. The rest of the team, 3 for 12.
A much different story than it was against Auburn on Tuesday, where they had 50 points in the first half. Had to kind of grind it out today, but another good example of the different ways that the Gators can get it done on what may be the most difficult day for them, playing for the first time without one of their leaders in John Egbunu, who is out with the ACL injury for the rest of the year.
Well, the Auburn game was actually the aberration because this team's top 5 in the nation in defensive efficiency. They're used to guarding people, so when other teams score a lot, that's a little rare. So the 90-plus points that Auburn scored, that was abnormal. This is more the way they play. Defending well, that was not an example of it right there.
Weatherspoon has carried the load for Mississippi State. He's got 12 points. The rest of the starters, just 5 points in that first half. They did not have the balance they've had in recent games. But here you go for Florida, 20 minutes away from getting out of here with a win to set up a big week against South Carolina and Kentucky to decide the SEC regular season.
And Chiozza's starting now the second half in place of Casey Hill and doing exactly what he did in the first half, breaking guys down off the ball screen, the help defense not there, finishing at the rim.
Starting out in the zone. This is Peters coming up top, under 10.
Well, it looks like a zone because they're weaving and they're switching everything.
Yep.
So it's really no ball movement.
Peters reps it up and in.
They need him to step up. That's his first basket of this game. He's a guy that's been averaging almost 15 points a game in league play. You got Mario Kegler, a guy that over the last 4 games averaging 15 points a game, shooting over 60%. You've got to have guys step up and play to their potential.
Allen misses the 3, but Robinson is there for the rebound. Justin Leon, can they get him going from outside the arc? Not on that attempt. The breakout for Mississippi State. Ready to Peters. And finally, they knock down a triple after starting out the day 0 for 13. They average 8 per game, and they've cut the deficit to 3.
32% of their offense, excuse me, just under 33% of their offense comes from the three-point line. That's 3rd in the SEC in league play. Got to make shots.
Another second chance for the Gators. Allen steps into it. Peters probes the baseline. Weatherspoon out the other side. Missed on a chance to tie it up.
Great offense, though. All created by Peters off the bounce and then skip pass along the baseline.
Chiozza had it knocked loose.
And this is Peters just crossing up. Help side. Kavarius Hayes has got to step around his man and make a play on the ball. He doesn't do that. And this is Peters in transition, finding threes, knocking it down. That is a big play, and they need that from him. Again, just under 15 points a game in league play, shooting 40%, 35 from 3. He needs to emerge.
And he will actually take a break now, replaced by Tyson Carter.
He's been dinged up a little bit the last few games, dealing with a little bit of a hip pointer and battling some injury.
Carter was a big spark off the bench last Saturday against South Carolina. He had 5 triples and a career-high 22 points.
So yeah, but my man was in the zone.
Number 23 in white down the bottom of the screen.
Trying to post up Quindary Witherspoon there.
Weatherspoon to Herard, and he lost the handle. Nice touch by the Bulldogs.
This is what Mike White was worried about, was their movement off the ball. This Mississippi State team is great off the ball. Weatherspoon comes off the screen, he curls, forces 2 to play 1, drops the bounce pass, and now the officials have talked, and I think they've gotten the call right, and it's going to stay with Mississippi State. But their defense off the ball, Florida's, has to be great, because Weatherspoon, and whether it's Peters or Reddy, all these guys are good coming off screens, particularly Q, Weatherspoon coming off screens and being effective. Shot clock.
Shot clock winding down. Kegler had to just launch one, and it'll be a violation.
This is where it's a young team, and that's where you do need Reddy. Once they made that change, the first thing he should have said is that we got shot clock, shot clock. So whoever gets it in has to know we got to go. Again, least experienced team in the nation, according to Ken Pomeroy, and it shows on some possessions just like that.
Can the Gators get it going? They've missed their last 5 shots.
They have got good looks, though. They've gotten good open looks.
Ooh, Allen fortunate right there that it found a black jersey. Chiozza almost had it stripped, and then the foul is going to be called on Lamar Peters. It's going to be his second. Stapleton will come on for Kegler. And we get another foul on the Bulldogs. That'll be the second now on Stapleton. The inbound lob, and Hayes goes up over, ready to get it.
Man took the elevator up. He can do that. And I.J. Reddy, about 5'10" of him, was not in the right position to make a play there.
Nice inbound by Chiozza for the assist. Peters quick on the 3. Let's see if the Bulldogs can get a little better look here.
It's their 9th offensive board. That's huge just to get more attempts right now. Mississippi State had 9 more shots at the half, but we're down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It shows how bad they were shooting.
Yeah.
Everything was under 33%. Their field goal percentage, their free throw percentage was 28.
Stapleton will pull up. Leon swooping in to grab the loose ball. Open look, Chiozza for 3. And some breathing room for Florida. 8-point lead with a timeout.
Executing offensively, underneath, baseline out of bounds. Chiozza looking, finding, comes off the ball, come off a screen. Quavarius Hayes gets up over top of I.J. Reddy. And on the other side, great skip pass across the formation. Bad closeout, big triple, big lead.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Final seconds in Waco. Kansas took the lead with free throws. It's a 2-point game. One final shot for Baylor. Manu LeConte injured his ankle earlier in the game. A wild attempt to tie it, and it doesn't go. Frank Mason had 23, and Kansas wins. Now a 3-game lead with just 4 to play in their quest for 13 straight Big 12 titles. Meanwhile, maybe a Allen fog still for West Virginia, trailing Texas Tech at home over on ESPN2. Beth down.
Thank you, Chris. Kansas moving ever closer to another Big 12 title.
How ridiculous is that? 13 straight. How about the game they won in the middle of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 with 2:40 to go. Like I turned the game off.
Nuts.
I gave up.
That was nuts. Well, that's the magic of the fog.
Is it ever?
Here in the SEC, Florida tied for first with Kentucky to open up the day. They've gotten 12 of the last 17 points from Chris Chiozza. He's out right now, or he's alongside Casey Hill right now. And a foul inside will go against Mississippi State. We'll take another quick break. 39-31, Florida with the lead, and now it's time for Meaningful Returns, brought to you by TD Ameritrade. And how about the job that Mike White has done in now his second season at Florida? A win today would pass last year's record, and right now their current Lunardi projection is a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough great things about what he's done in the second year. And he told me early in the year, we're trying to, these guys are taking ownership of this culture. As we've changed over coaching, I want these guys to have ownership, be accountable, and they've continued to get better and improve. I think he's without a doubt SEC Coach of the Year right now. I think this team has no one stud. They have just a bunch of guys that play hard on both ends of the floor, know how to play together, and ultimately, most importantly, listen to Mike and the coaching staff.
Tied with Kentucky at 11-2 in the league. They have the tiebreak, courtesy of their big win at home against the Cats. South Carolina is a game behind, and coming up midweek is a home game against the Gamecocks, and then next weekend in Rupp Arena against UK.
And that's the best thing best testament of a coach and his staff is the team getting better. And this team's improved throughout the course of the year. Now they're all building up to this big week you just laid out right there. But they now can score. 2 months ago, they really struggled to score the basketball. Now it's a team that's averaging 80 points a game, but doing it in half-court games. They used to rely on defense to offense, not so much.
Witherspoon stepped on the sideline, turns it over. How do you think they're going to stack up without Egbunu against, Carolina doesn't necessarily have the quality of bigs, but certainly Kentucky's got some big fellas inside.
They do, but Bam Adebayo at times in foul trouble so consistently that I'm not sure they're going to be exactly abused inside there. Where it really is going to hurt when you get the NCAA tournament, and the matchups are really going to dictate what you can do and what certain weaknesses are. Because in the SEC, there are a dearth of dominant big bodies inside.
Choza, he's been big today for Florida. 14 points, 3 off of his career high. Tough pass for Hayes to handle right there. Back up to a 10-point lead, which matches the biggest. What a play by Peters to put Choza on his backside, but didn't have the finish.
I'm not sure if he got a little push-off away or just completely broke his ankles, but we'll take another look at that.
This is a guy the Gators would love to get his confidence back. Casey Hill for the big week to come. Having a rough day today. Off the crossover, and he knocks it down.
On cue, Beth. He hits his second shot of the game. He had 4 turnovers and 2 points until that shot, but came off confidently off the screen. Good crossover, elevated, and knocked it down.
5 points shy of 1,000 for his career, and he has also moved into a tie for #2 all-time in career assists at Florida.
Danger time here for Mississippi State. They've got to get some good shots. They cannot. This lead can't extend to 15 or 20. You're not going to come back on a good defensive team. That's a great job of driving the ball to score. And Florida's helped defenses step late.
Eli Wright, the freshman from Owensboro, Kentucky.
I think that's on Peters.
Call him for a hold, and that is his 3rd personal.
That's a big call. We saw him come and give them an offensive spark. They need him on the floor because he can create off the bounce for himself and his teammates. So him heading to the bench is pretty important. Possession there was no urgency in it, no understanding of what they were trying to do, and then at the end you didn't value the basketball. That looks like the least experienced team in the country in a critical possession.
Van Halen looks at that scoreboard, a lot of time left. Double-digit deficit. Hill wrapping it around for 2 more.
Ball screen defense for Mississippi State has struggled in the second half at times, and now he's starting to feel a little bit and getting downhill. Be effective.
pass almost picked off. It's a 12-point lead for Florida. Well, we talked a little bit about the technology in the weight room here at Mississippi State. When we come back, we're going to go into their practice gym.
46, 47.
The voice of Noah's Ark and the numbers game in Starkville when we come back. Back here at Mississippi State, you know, in the first half we were in the weight room. Now we're in the practice gym with Michael Moynihan, who's the director of ops, and we're talking about our friend Noah. Noah's Ark, which is technology here in the practice gym. And Michael, how does Noah help the Bulldogs become better shooters?
Well, through the research that Noah's Ark has done, which has recorded over 7 million shots, they found that the ideal arc is between 43 and 47 degrees. And the reason you want a consistent arc is because when you have a consistent arc, you have a consistent shot in terms of the depth in which the ball goes into that rim, which is 18 inches. And if you want to be a consistent shooter, you have to have consistent arc, which gives you consistent depth.
All right, let's see what Noah says about Dallin's shot.
47.
Obviously, all your mechanics are great. You have a nice follow-through, nice rotation on the ball. Tight shirt, too. Tight shirt. I mean, you look good doing it. I mean, you can tell you know what you're doing. But as you can see, look it up, Bev. Look at this. That's 3 47s in a row. Now, the ideal arc is between 43 and 47, but Steph Curry shoots 47. And right now, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between you and Steph Curry.
What? Steph Curry? Come on now.
I'll tell you what, people stop me on the street and tell me I look like him. That's the only similarity I really see, but that's okay. I could shoot it.
That was 10
couldn't
in a row.
play much.
I think that was 10 in a row right there that you made that.
Foul line was my friend. the defensive end, not so much.
Oh, there's a look at Michael over there, along with David Dietz and Jonathan Barber, our new friends from the coaching staff and some of the administrative staff here at Mississippi State. Coach Ben Howland letting us watch some tape and go over the scouting report with his team yesterday after practice. Been terrific visit to Starkville here for the second weekend in a row.
Yeah, it was great to see all that, and then Coach take us up there. We went through all the traditional stuff, your scouting report, all the personnel, but then was all the technology stuff. We saw the weight room and then Noah's Ark. I wish I had this stuff when I was playing, and I just stopped playing 10 years ago. Like, how much have things changed that now it's so technological and so much data to really help you become a better player and take care of your body and then work on your game.
Going to get a foul on Holman setting the screen. That'll be his fourth. You know, they had a trip overseas this past summer, so they did not have a complete off-season here at home to work with the guys in that weight room and in the practice gym. This upcoming summer will be a huge one for this Mississippi State program with all these guys coming back and a full off-season together.
You couldn't be more right. The whole group coming back, minus I.J. Reddy. You get a couple guys are sitting out their transfer year in the program full-time. Remember, they're already here practicing, but now they can play next year. Big opportunity for Ben Howland's team. He continues to recruit at a very high level, getting guys in the top 40, 50, the ESPN top 100. And now you combine that with technology and the great coach that he is, they could go places.
Weatherspoon gets the lay-in.
Huge possession there. You're down 12. It could get up to 17-8, 14-15. You get a layup the other way. Get the crowd back into it.
Robinson for three. Of course, for Florida, the time is now. You've got an experienced team fighting for a regular season championship in the SEC, possibly a top 3 seed come tournament time. Of course, they won the back-to-back national championships with Billy Donovan back in 06 and 07.
What makes them dangerous come tournament time is they can guard you. They can play defense. Again, top 5 in the nation in defensive efficiency. They're a team that can stop you, that will always keep them in the game.
Peters looking for 3. They just have not been able to dial it in from deep. Just 1 for 18 now this afternoon.
Varius Hayes lost a shoe, but most importantly, they got the rebound. And that's where they've had some weaknesses today. It's now 10 offensive rebounds they've given up, but only 4 second-chance points to Mississippi State. They haven't capitalized.
Steal for Mississippi State, and then Carter lost it on the bounce. Everybody's got butterfingers right now.
This has not been a pretty last 2 minutes. But that's good for Mississippi State because it's kept Florida at bay a little bit. They got a couple turnovers. Their ball screens are starting to really, though, affect Mississippi State again. I keep saying it. They're getting into the lane. We talked about icing in the first half. They did a decent job of it. They've missed some assignments in the second half here, and guys are getting downhill, and they're living in the lane.
Florida has now turned it over in 4 of their last 5 possessions. But the Bulldogs have not been able to chip away at that lead.
There's a combined 10 assists in this game, 25 turnovers. So they've not been the cleanest ball game. That's inexcusable.
Weatherspoon, that's a 3. He's got 17, and that'll bring the crowd back into it.
What's inexcusable is allowing him to run through the baseline, running into screens, not switching, and one of the best shooters in the league is wide open at a critical moment.
Weatherspoon hits his average with 9:27 still to play.
Take a look. Weatherspoon's off the ball. Mike White told us he's worried about it. Kayvon Allen loses contact, doesn't yell switch here, and just stops and kind of runs into the next screen. You got to yell switch. Your big has got to shoot out there, Hayes in this case, and help you out.
Hey, we're only getting started here on ESPN today. Some more hoops coming your way. First at 6 Eastern, it's Kentucky and Georgia from Athens in Stegman Coliseum. And then it's to the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill. The College Game Day guys are there at Saturday primetime, presented by AT&T. Virginia and North Carolina. The Wahoos have lost 4 of their last 6. They'll also be playing against Miami on Big Monday. This is a huge week. They played Duke midweek. Couldn't get it done there.
Brutal stretch for them. And the thing about their team, they're really getting outscored a lot in the second half, Virginia is. Their defense, we know that's where they hang their hat, but it just hasn't been consistently good for 40 minutes. And teams are wearing them down. Their margin of error is very, very small because they can't score enough, and I don't think their defense is as elite as it's been in past years. That said, still a top 10 team, and they still can beat North Carolina because they're going to control the pace. And if they can play consistent 40 minutes, they can win that game.
Nice under and up from Canyon Berry.
The thing about Barry, he's only scored 5 points, averaging 15 in league play. They don't need to force him to get it going, though. He always, tries to find his in the course of the offense, doesn't rush it. They isolated him defensively, Barry, that is, in the first half. But with Tyson Carter, a freshman, doesn't have much body. He's not the one-on-one ISO player you want to go against Barry.
Shot clock's at 5. Peters comes out to Barry. All down to Stapleton. Weatherspoon rejected. Hayes came back to help. Robinson gets into the lane, off balance. And they're going to get a foul here on Harag. No, it's going to go against the Gators.
Here's Hayes making a great play on one side, defensive play, coming back in, getting a big block. But that last possession, Devin Robinson took a shot that he should not have taken. He forced that up. He should have skipped it across the formation. Canyon Berry is standing there, hands and feet ready, who's shooting for 40% from the three-point line in league play. Skip it to him. That's the shot you're looking for.
That is the 3rd foul on Hayes. That is the first team foul almost 12 minutes into the second half on the Gators.
You hear Mike White right there, coming off Canyon. The off-the-ball screen. Canyon's now on Weatherspoon. 24 Black on 11 White. 11 White's one of the best guys in this league coming off-the-ball screens.
Peters uses his body to get into Rimmer and then gets it the second time.
He's doing a great job of getting himself in the lane and creating it primarily for himself.
Back to a 7-point game. And a foul will be called on Mississippi State. 47-40, Florida on top. Peters has just committed his 4th. And here the SEC front-running Florida Gators starting the day tied for first place with Kentucky. There's how the ACC standings look right now. Carolina 1 up on FSU, Louisville, and Duke.
That conference is an absolute gauntlet. And people keep talking about, will they get 10 teams, 11 teams? It really depends on the teams at the bottom there. Clemson, Georgia Tech, Wake, if they can, they'll have the opportunities. If Clemson or Georgia Tech or Wake can mount some more wins, they can get in. If they can't, they might be on the outside looking in. So that's where the number's really going to swing.
Let's see, Lunardi has all 3 of those teams, the last 4 out right now with 9 teams in. 4 for the SEC with Tennessee right now on the outside looking in. Carter draws the foul.
Good patience from the freshman. Big missed opportunity on their end by Florida. They missed a layup, really, to push this thing to 9 and allows Mississippi State to get out in transition. First, I thought Weatherspoon was going to take the shot. Then they had the help coming through it to Carter. I thought he was going to take the shot, but he capitalized the closeout, went middle, and got to the line.
Boy, the free throw line has been a struggle today. They are 2 for 8. That's their first free throw of the second half.
I mean, 36%, that's their high mark in terms of field goal percentage, in terms of any of the shooting percentages. They're 36 from the field goal. 10.5 from 3, folks. They're 2 for 19. They're 36% in league play on the year. And now they're 3 for 9 from the foul line. That's just not, it's unfortunately not good enough for Ben Howland's team. He knows he's put these guys in a position to win. They got to make some shots, and they're still in this ball.
2-possession game.
They're right there.
Under 7 to go. Mississippi State has not beaten a ranked team since 2011. Been a 16-game drought. Barry.
Communicate the switch. They didn't do it.
Carter, no.
That was an ugly possession by Florida. Fortunate, you got to communicate if you're going to switch.
Meanwhile, the Bulldogs have held the Gators without a bucket for 3 minutes. And now numbers for Mississippi State. Carter had it stripped by Allen.
That's where Carter's game will develop. It's his body. He's only about 160 pounds as a freshman. Came in at 145, they told us. He put on 15 to 20 pounds before the season started. He still looks rail thin. He's a really talented kid, but with more strength, he can lean that shoulder into Kayvon Allen, bounce off him, create the contact, and still get up with the shot. And Allen, bear in mind, is built like a statue, like he was cut out of marble. So it's a little different situation.
They'll call a kick there. It'll stay with Mississippi State.
Florida's got to tighten up the ball. They've got 5 turnovers in the last 5 minutes of play. That's what's keeping Mississippi State in this ballgame. See Florida switching 1 through 5. So you've got your 5-man Hayes on ready.
Herrod fouled by Leon. That'll be his 3rd.
You take a look. Florida's had some trouble ball screen stuff, so they switch it, and they have Kavarius Hayes now on I.J. Reddy. So there's a little bit of a mismatch inside. And Herrard being physical, going right into his defender.
Now they just got to make some freebies. 3 for 9 today at the line. Reminder that tonight after Virginia and North Carolina wrap things up here on ESPN, it's SportsCenter at night with Kevin Connors and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have a full wrap from all the NBA All-Star Weekend activities. SportsCenter at night, streaming live on your app as well. Terrific day around the college basketball world. Let's see, no big upsets so far. Kansas winning at Baylor. Villanova winning in a rout. Notre Dame beat NC State. Duke hung on, as did Louisville, to win their games today. Can the Bulldogs get the upset of the afternoon?
I love the crowd recognizing Tyson Carter's efforts. They really cheered him as he got subbed out, but now they're into the game here. Down 4 at home. This team wants a top 25 W.
Casey Hill just back into the game at a wide open lane.
And you see Lamar Peters look at Herrard and just, what was that? Well, that wasn't communication. They did not know what their ball screen coverage was. There was no help and just too easy.
That was big for Hill after Florida had made just one of its last 7 shots. Casey now a point shy of 1,000 for his career. Weatherspoon trying to lean into Robinson. Hill pretty on the spin. A lot of black jerseys on the break. Chiozza for 3. Offensive board, Leon, and a foul. And that is the 7th team foul on State.
Toughness plays. That's how you get into the top 25. That's how you become a team that's won 7 straight games. They get a stop on the other end. On a contested rebound, they rip down. Casey Hill does a great job of corralling the ball, getting out. They didn't force a bad shot. They got a great look at Chiozza. I thought that was going in. It rims out, but they capitalize with an offensive board, making toughness plays on the road.
Leon hits the front end. Averaging in double digits in his last 3 games. He's struggled from the floor, but misses on the second one. Reddy gonna try and go the distance. Another block by Florida. That's Hayes again. Chiozza forced it. Kegler out in front.
Chiozza has had a great first half. His second half, he's picked bad spots and forced some bad positions that have led to turnovers, and that was a big one right there.
Hill goes behind the back. Tough shot off glass. No.
Kegler's got to be careful. He just moved into a screen and didn't call it.
Approaching 4 minutes to go.
They thought they were going to switch. Florida did not switch.
Peters knifing his way into the lane, and it will not go. And a trip to the line for Lamar. 5-point game, under 4 to go. Florida on the ropes.
Chris Cotter in studio. Texas Tech at West Virginia over on ESPN2. Nathan Adrian, the ball fake. He's all over the place. Gets the bucket to go. Giving West Virginia a 5-point lead right now over on ESPN2. Coming up next year on ESPN, Big Ten battle. Michigan State on the road taking on Biggie Swanigan and the Purdue Boilermakers. They're going to tip it about 16 minutes, Beth.
Thank you, Chris. Well, how about this for the Mississippi State Bulldogs? You got to go back to November of 2011 in Arizona. That's 16 games ago against ranked opponents since the Bulldogs have last pulled off the upset. They were down 12 7 minutes ago, but during that stretch, they have held Florida to just 5 points and turned them over 7 times, and now they're right back in it with Lamar Peters at the free throw line.
Good roll. And Ben Howland told us yesterday, this is an opportunity for his program. You got all these young guys. You have a ranked team coming in on the road. There's won 7 straight. You need to have certain wins when you're trying to build a program, and this would be a massive one. And the way they've done it, coming back down and then getting stops in the defensive end. Look at that hustle play by Peters.
Kegler got it. 2-point game. Barry off the bounce and the finger roll.
Talked about it earlier, this icing ball screens where you're going to force them down the baseline, but everybody's got to be locked in. So Quindary hopped up to ice. The big wasn't there to help, and there was no help side on the weak side. Layup.
No big man in the middle for Florida. No John Egbunu, out for the first game with an ACL injury, done for the year. And Mississippi State has been able to score inside.
To your point, without Egbunu, they went into Holman, who's got Leon on him, who's really a 4-man, even a 3-man at times, and went right to work. I'd like to see the ball in 5 black Kayvon Allen's hands or 24 black Canyon Berry's.
Allen hasn't scored in the second half. Berry's shot is blocked. No reset. 8 seconds for the Gators.
And Holman struggled to get going in this game because of foul trouble, but that's a big play. And we see why he's almost has 2 blocks a game in league play. It's good for top 3 in the league. Steps over and erases what would have been a layup.
Robinson steps back. Still has not hit a shot today.
If he's shooting 18-foot step backs, you're happy for Ben Allen.
2 to tie, a 3 for the lead.
Berry rolled an ankle.
Holman's got it. Canyon Berry is down on the floor, writhing in pain for Florida. And it's tied at 52. The leading scorer for Florida, wincing as he tries to walk over to the Florida bench.
And he was trying to close out. Taking a look from the, oh yeah, he just tweaked it. You saw his left ankle just roll over on itself when he closed out. See right there, he couldn't recover, and obviously in a 4-on-5 situation, the Bulldogs were liking their chances.
Looks like they're going to try and get a quick tape job on Berry. 2:23 to go in a tie game.
Came out of the game. It's got to be Hill, 0, or Kayvon Allen, the bottom of the screen. They've got to look to come off. I'd like to see Allen in a ball screen situation or Hill.
Allen without a basket in the second half. Hill will pull up short. Offensive rebound, and the stick back is good by Hayes.
Love the call by Mississippi State to change their ball screen. They just switched it. And Mario Kegler got a block, but you have to identify the ball, and Holman didn't know that. He was looking at the rim. Great job to see with the flight of the ball and make a play.
1:56 to go and a 2-point lead for Florida.
Take a look. Mario Kegler switched now. The straight switch on the ball screen gets the deflection, but Hayes actually saw the flight of the ball. Holman did not. Holman was turned to trying to block out, and Hayes fortunate to make a play there.
Reminder, tomorrow at 4 Eastern on ESPN, we'll go to Philly. And the American Conference, it's UConn and Temple. Also streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN. Canyon Berry has been retaped. The sneaker is back on. He's up bouncing around, trying to work through the pain right now for Florida. What a week in the SEC. Arkansas upsets South Carolina, knocks them out of first place. Mississippi State trying for the upset of Florida to knock them out of first place. It's possible Kentucky can be all alone atop the league as they visit Georgia later today.
Or they could lose, and Georgia back in the conversation for the tournament, throw a total wrench into this thing. Coming out of the timeout, though, Berry does look better. To your point, he's up, and as a player, you tweak your ankle like that a lot. You walk it off, get a tape, you're good. But you don't want him on the court anyway right now. It's offense, defense. You want to go get a different guy in there so Chioza checks in. And now from a Mississippi State standpoint, I think Lamar Peters has been great creating off the bounce. Like to see him off the bounce and Quindary Weatherspoon off the ball screen action for him on the other side of the court.
They've been in plenty of close games this year. But again, we reiterate, it's the first time they'll go through it without John Egbunu, one of their upperclassmen, their leaders, done for the year with the knee injury. This is the first time the Gators have taken the floor without him. And Mississippi State has come back from 12 down.
So they went first and went Witherspoon off the ball, didn't work. Then now we're going ball screen action with Peters to see if they can get something.
Peters scrambling, shot clock down to 3. Weatherspoon has to jack with a hand in his face. Outstanding defense by Florida.
Young team at home trying to knock off a top 25 team. You got to get stops down the stretch.
One minute to go. Leon for 3.
Last possession, Mississippi State really didn't amount to much. It ended with Peters just dribbling around. I think they need to get in the set early and run something.
Oh, Reddy almost threw that out of bounds as he tried to call the timeout. He flipped it to the official, and fortunately for Mississippi State, it hit Byron Jarrett and didn't go out.
The thing that's weird is Ben Howland was calling timeout. I don't know if you can see him at the top of the screen, so I.J. Reddy's used to that. He turns. Remember, different rule. You can't have a live ball timeout called by a coach. So he may just lost his mind there for a second, and he was fortunate.
Boy, and Jarrett reached out to stop it right there. Florida State protested, but it's going to be Mississippi State ball. Down 2, 17 on the shot clock, 43 on the game clock. Beth Mowins, along with Dallin Cuff, they haven't beaten a ranked opponent in 6 years, and another opportunity for this young state team. What do you like on this possession?
Well, they tried Weatherspoon in the possession before, off the ball action. Then they went to Peters with a little on the ball action. I think they need to find a way to get a pin down screen for Weatherspoon. We've seen it be effective. Maybe he can get that shot. If not, you might bring 2 guys to him and he can drop it down like they did in the first half. They had some success with him off the ball. Look for that as a quick hitter with 17 seconds. And he played well today. He came out right away at 6 of their first 7 points. He was working well off the ball. This is a great cut again. He had 2 of those in the first 5 minutes. Florida was still, they were on the bus. They were still sleeping. Yeah. And Weatherspoon was out here balling. Overall in the day, he's up to 17 points now. And he can knock down threes. We know that. That was a terrible communication by Florida when they ran into the screen. So they've struggled with him off the ball a little bit. That's why I think that may be where you want to go.
They usually rely so heavily on the 3 ball. It hasn't been there for them today. They've had to find other ways to get it done.
One ball screen, now we're at shot clock situation.
Reddy finds a seam, blocked again. Hayes with another rejection. And a foul will send the Gators to the line for a 1-and-1. Is that the 7th block shot of the day now for Florida?
You see Reddy just had to go. Shot clock was winding down. And right when they got it in, I wasn't really sure what the plan was. Weatherspoon went to the corner. They ran 1 ball screen and they were right in a shot clock situation. It wasn't really an effective set that they got into with 17 on the shot clock when the possession began with them. It's where a young team is. The last 2 possessions they've run have been kind of disjointed and they've come down to a little bit of a panic situation.
And how about the job that Hayes and Leon have done helping out in the paint defensively, which is one of the places they thought they would really miss Egbunu.
It's a great point, Beth. I mean, Mike told us before the game, Coach White, Egbunu, in every high-level game they've had, he's made big-time plays down the stretch inside. And now these guys have stepped up. Leon's a 90% free throw shooter. Goes 1 for 2. Hayes, whoa.
Almost put it back in. It's a 3-point game. Weatherspoon will stop. Pop! And it's short. They got a foul again.
And that's the guy to foul. Casey Hill shoots in the 50%. It's the one thing when you have a point guard. Now, they do play with 2 point guards, really. Chiozza and Hill are both point guards, great guys, handling the ball. But Hill, not a great free throw shooter. Step up and see if he can knock it down in a one-on-one situation.
First trip to the line today for Casey Hill. If he does knock down this first one, it will be, by the way, his 1,000th career point.
Sorry, it's 57% in league play, so in SEC games.
Big one to give him a 4-point advantage.
That is the big one. Now, if you're Mike White, you can say, all right, get back, maybe a little token pressure to make them waste some time. But you're switching every screen. You're contesting, no threes. If they want to go take a 2, don't foul. Great hustle.
They're going to call the travel on Hayes. 15 seconds to go.
How about Hayes the last couple possessions? Getting blocks. He almost tipped the tip dunk the last free throw miss. There he dives. He just doesn't get the play, but talk about commending the effort.
8 points, 9 rebounds, a few blocks. Gators are going to provide the full court pressure here.
That's what I was just saying. Maybe a little token pressure. You're not trying to gamble. You're not doubling. All you're doing is making sure they inbound the ball, and then you make them work up the court a little bit, so it wastes a little bit of time. They should switch every screen. If they're going to go and get a 2, make them get a 2. Don't foul. And then Mike White just said, do not foul the three-pointer. Do not foul. It's being very clear when you're up 4.
They have
fouls
to give. Kegler for 3. No good. Rebound Hayes. 4.8 to go.
tell you what, the sign of a good team is when you don't play well, you get a win. Florida has not played well in this game. If they lose John Egbunu, emotionally, mentally, they were not in it right away. It took them 7 or 8 minutes to get going. Their defense picked up. Kayvon Allen carried him in the first half. Chris Chioza finished the half strong. And they made enough plays and a lot of just toughness plays down the stretch to pull out this game. I should say, look like they're going to pull out this game.
It would extend the winning streak to 8, and then they would get ready for a Tuesday night showdown on ESPN in front of the Rowdy Reptiles against South Carolina. And then a week from today at Rupp Arena to take on the Cats. Weatherspoon, 3 is short, and Florida survives 57-52, the final score today at the Hump. Coming up next, Michigan State and 16th ranked Purdue. Thanks for joining us here in Starkville. For our entire crew and Dallin Cuff, I'm Beth Mowins. So long from Humphrey Coliseum. Now back to the studio.